powered by Riverside FM.
Welcome back to Soulfire Sessions. I'm Lady Rise from Rise and Radiate Digital, joined by my favorite co-hosts, Madam Amani and Devar. Last episode, we learned how to reflect and fuck properly, and now we promise to talk about turning sparks into sustainable flames. Today, we're adding fuel to your fire. We've got a special guest, Leo Grigori, author, motivational speaker, and inner growth strategist. He's here to help us keep burning bright. Rumor has it he usually goes to bed early, so cherish this moment because tonight we're keeping each other lit. Now that we've set the stage for keeping our fire alive, let's dig into the foundation. Because even the brightest flames need strong roots. Today's first segment is all about staying rooted in worth, how we build unshakable self-esteem when the world tries to dim our light. And since we're talking about building confidence, here's how I build mine. I start by naming one thing I'm proud of, like committing to this podcast, even when imposter syndrome tries to creep in. Then I remind myself that my worth isn't tied to perfection. It's tied to showing up, learning, and embracing the mess along the way. So now I'd love to hear from you all. Madam Amani, how do you build your self-esteem?
Thank you for having me again, Lady Rise. Appreciate you. As far as how I build self-esteem, I make sure that I'm keeping my word to myself. Like every time I honor a boundary, follow through on a promise to myself, or choose peace over proving, I rise. So I speak to myself like someone I deeply respect, and I don't wait for outside validation to confirm who I am. Esteem is built in the shadows, right? In the quiet. So choices that you see, you make sure that you see you.
Exactly. We want to make sure we look within and start building. That's where we have to start building our self-esteem. It's with ourselves. We can't look outside of us to start that process.
Mm-hmm.
So Devar, thanks for coming back with us. What's one small practice or mantra that helps you build self-esteem?
Yeah, I appreciate you having me back on. Also, hello, guest Leo and Madam Money. For me, I remind myself daily that I am enough, and I am, not later, but right now. This simple mantra keeps me grounded, even when I'm not where I want to be. I acknowledge my growth and value in the present moment. I also try to celebrate small wins, complete a task, my keeping a promise to myself, or even just showing up. Confidence stacks slowly but surely when I consistently keep showing up for myself.
Yes, because if you could show up for yourself, you could fill your own cup, then you could start to fill others. I love
Mm-hmm.
that. And so, Leo, thanks for being here, joining us. Please tell us your story. Tell us about self esteem and self worth on your journey and what led you to be a motivational speaker or an inner growth strategist.
Man, I just want to thank all of y'all for inviting me on, so I won't hold y'all up. Let's keep the fire lit. Um, Self-esteem. I build self-esteem through giving myself grace. Giving myself grace is one of the most important things ever, and that's because I'm human. And I've come to accept the fact that I am human and I have multiple flaws, and I'm always working through those flaws because those flaws are the lessons that I'm currently learning. I
Mm-hmm.
set goals. I set multiple goals, big goals, and I attain the big goals by working through my smaller goals. Any negative thoughts, I have the controls in which to turn them on, turn them off. So if I get a negative thought, I can turn it off. I have the controller in my hand. Um, I'm always learning new things. Right now, I'm learning digital marketing. So a little brief history about myself. Not too long ago, I was a man of the world. I was
Mm-hmm.
very narcissistic, very egotistic, which that's a combination right there. And I was a man out there doing things that wasn't becoming of him. So what
Mm-hmm.
led me to this journey was what I call the awakening journey. When I made a decision to myself to say, you know what, that's it. I'm not going back out there. I'm not going out there. And this happened in January 2022 when I came out of my divorce. I got sick and tired of being sick and tired of the cyclic nature in which I was living. So it brought me on to this journey. This journey has been beautiful and painful at the exact same time. What led me to become a motivational speaker, motivational content creator, and just overall looking at what I can give back. My mission is to uplift the collective conscious. My mission is to give back. Of course, I have to ensure that my cup remains full at all times. My
Mm-hmm.
teachings are bigger than me. So I enjoy what I do. I enjoy helping others. And when it came down to the inner growth strategies and the inner growth website that I have, I'm also a certified life coach and certified transformation growth. So if anybody want to come to innergrowthstrategies.com, feel free, and I will try my hardest to facilitate you through any complications that you have in your life.
I love that. That's powerful because that's what we need. There's a lot of people who don't know where to start or don't know where to look back at that path and how to start that path. So I appreciate that because it is a place where some people don't know how to get out of.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing.
Did you have any questions for Leo about his story?
I do. Leo, when did you first realize your worth wasn't tied to productivity?
I realized this because I was always a go-to guy. I put myself front and center as a go-to guy because in every environment that I worked in, they knew I was that guy to go to. But I wasn't celebrated for my worth, I was celebrated for my output. So it was not long ago that my worth should not be tied to an output, but
Mm-hmm.
my worth now is to my input of myself. So my worth is growing now based on what I put inside, but not what goes outside. By
That's
the
good.
by by the
Mm-hmm.
spark that I continually to flame, it gives others the permission to let their light flame and their self-worth goes up.
Hmm.
Exactly, because we don't see that often. We're taught just to look outside of ourselves and just people please, and we're all confused. So once people could turn back to self, that's where it all starts.
Hmm. I have one
Exactly.
more question, Leo. Um, what did it feel like the first time you chose rest over obligation and didn't apologize for it?
Say it one more time. Chose rest over obligation.
And didn't apologize for it.
Oh, the body deserves rest. The body deserves rest, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm unapologetic to taking care of me because I know that I am everything, and I know everything is me. My perception
Exactly.
of the world is what's driven by what I put back inside of me. I rest,
Absolutely.
and I'm
Mm-hmm.
unapologetic about getting rest.
Yes, I love that because I used to always get flack about from my friends when I wanted to take a nap. They'd want me to come do something and be mad, and I'd be like, I can't function if I'm not rested. Like that's where it starts for me. I've always been known for my naps. Got to get those
Hmm.
in.
Mm, definitely. Leo, so what is a worth lie you used to believe?
I used to believe I was the best husband on 2 feet, and I used to believe I was the best father on 2 feet.
Okay.
Because, and I got to go deep inside of this one real quick, y'all. I apologize.
No,
But
you good.
I
Mm-hmm.
thought that if I bought the person everything, I thought that if I kept myself in a position to where I was there when they needed me, and I felt my reward for getting back was sex.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm,
as I come to find out, I was completely wrong about that. And I learned that throughout my journey. And when it came to fatherhood, uh, matter of fact, me and my daughter, we've had multiple conversations about that. I was an away father and I thought I was doing a great job. But as an away father, I still missed out on the birthdays. I missed out on so much. And then when I had time to spend time with her, it was like, okay, come with me. We go visit family, I would dip her off with the younger ones where she can play, and I was going to do my thing. Those are
Mm.
two things that I felt my worth was tied behind.
Hmm.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that. I used to believe my worth depended on how much I could do for others, even when it drained me. So I got a follow-up question. When you finally stopped believing that lie, what changed in how you treated, what changed in the way you treated yourself?
I found more self love. I didn't love myself at all. And through my journey, I started learning self love. Self love is one of the things, it's an ongoing journey. It's not I love myself today and it's forever. You
Right.
consistently cultivate love within you because we all have love within us. But when you start peeling back those layers of the onions, when you going
Hmm.
through the healing process, when you letting those deep dark wounds, not only childhood but also being the perpetrator type of stuff, then it allows you to love yourself even more. It's a weight that
Hmm.
comes off your shoulders.
Okay.
Exactly. Because I was the same way.
Yeah,
I thought sex was had to be there in order for us to be good, and that
Mm,
exactly.
then but you would still feel empty after. So it's like, wait,
Hmm. And
right.
that's the hard part, admitting it to yourself. That's like the hardest part of healing,
Mm,
but the first step
right,
towards freedom.
mhm. Yeah.
exactly,
Instant gratification and instant regret right behind it.
Yes.
exactly.
Hmm.
Definitely.
So building self-esteem isn't just a mental game; it's an energetic one too. When our roots are shaky, our whole system feels it. So let's clear the blocks holding us back and move into it. Clearing the chakras, starting where stability begins. The root chakra, because you can't burn bright if you don't feel safe in your own fire. The root chakra, when the root is blocked, you'll feel anxious or scattered, and your root represents survival and safety. The root chakra is associated with the element of the earth. The color is red, and its symbol is a four petaled lotus. So the key themes first for the root chakra are survival, safety, grounding, physical health, and basic needs. That's your food, shelter, and money. This chakra governs your sense of security and stability, both physically and emotionally. It is the foundation upon which all other chakras build, making it essential to address it first in any healing or balancing practice. So here's how I come to clear mine. I focus on the color red. I even wear red panties. I turn my red light on. I have different color lights, and if I use the red one, focus on that. And I eat red foods, have some tomatoes or some beets. And I also walk barefoot outside. That helps me ground. Then you can use affirmations. I repeat to myself, I am safe. So, first, Madam Amani, how do you govern your sense of security and stability?
As far as that goes, I'm gonna make sure that I recognize that safety starts within. Um, it's not just in my environment; it's in my nervous system, how I breathe. So I ground myself, right? Kind of like you do. Sit still if I need to, pray, movement, exercise, reflection. Just remind myself that stability isn't found in control. It's found in trust in myself, knowing I can respond to whatever life hands me. So like Leo was saying, um, just making sure that I don't abandon myself. I am my own anchor. And when the world feels unsteady, I go inward before I react outward.
Exactly. Yes. Once again, see, there we're going in, and that's always going to help with the root because the root is your base there. That's your foundation.
Mhm.
And Devar, so how do you govern your sense of security and stability?
Yeah, I build my sense of security from the inside out. I check with my spirit before I check with my bank account. For me, stability isn't about money or a plan, it's about peace. I create sacred routines, protect my space, and stay aligned with what feels grounded in truth. That's my home base, even when it feels shaky.
Mm-hmm. Yep, always go back to the foundation. Just like we go back to our homes after we've had a bad day out and about at the grocery store, we always come back. It's good to have a foundation, a home base where you feel safe. So that's
Hmm.
also coming back to your root. I love that.
Right.
So, Leo, how do you know when your root is blocked and how do you unblock it?
I know my root is blocked is when I'm starting to think scarcity. When I'm thinking scarcity and a lack of abundance.
Mm-hmm.
And that will result in me going into what I call the escapisms. Escapism, like going certain places, just getting away from everything, or going to stores and just binge buying. And that's when I know I have issues with my root chakra. What what helps me to unblock it is to come back into oneness. Is to come back into a clear mind, is to sit down, clear the clutter that's in the brain, but come inside and to know that
Mm-hmm.
everything that I need is right here within me.
Mm.
Exactly. Because that just reminded me, I didn't even think about that. Like buying at the store, overbuying, that reminded me so much of 2020 when everybody's root chakra is leaking. Like, what, 20 people,
Right.
what are we doing?
Yup, yup, yup.
Right.
Whoa,
We
we are
need that much
okay.
toilet paper?
Right. For what?
Right.
What are we
For
doing?
real, like,
Like, where the
all the
lights all at? One person bought it all.
for
Right.
real.
Yeah, that was a leaky
Definitely.
root chakra. Definitely. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So when our root is solid, we can rise. Now let's turn up the heat and flow into the sacral chakra, where creativity and passion live. So the sacral chakra is associated with your creativity, your pleasure. The element is water. The color is orange. And the symbol is a six-petaled lotus. So the key themes for our sacral chakra are creativity, sexuality, emotions, pleasure, and relationships. So the six qualities to purify, each petal of the lotus represents a quality that can block the sacral chakra if you leave it unaddressed. Anger, holding on to resentment, hatred, deep seated negativity, jealousy, comparison and lack, cruelty, harmful actions or thoughts, desire, attachment to outcomes, and pride, ego driven behaviors. So, by acknowledging and releasing these, we can create space for creativity, joy, and emotional balance. So, what does a blocked sacral chakra feel like? When the sacral chakra is blocked or imbalanced, you may experience emotional instability, such as mood swings or repressed emotions, creative blocks or lack of inspiration, low libido or disconnection from your sexuality,
Mm.
fear of change or resistance to new experiences, difficulty forming or maintaining healthy relationships, physical issues such as lower back pain, urinary problems, or reproductive health concerns. So, how do you clear or balance your sacral chakra? Clearing and balancing the sacral chakra involves practices that encourage emotional expression, creativity, and the free flow of energy. A blocked sacral chakra equals guilt for resting or creating. I clear mine by dancing, no audience needed, just turning it up,
Hmm.
eating citrus foods, or just by saying, I deserve joy in the mirror. So, Madam Amani, how do you include practices that encourage emotional expression?
First, I make sure that I release, and I think that everybody should do that. Make sure that you are releasing on a daily basis, whether that's journaling, and make sure that you don't have a filter when you're journaling. Or if you have to scream, scream into a pillow, go outside, scream in the backyard. Like you said, Rise, dance, and dance until you're laughing or crying because something needs to release. Right. I stop policing my emotions and let them move through me. And when I feel numb, I check in with my inner child because that's how I started my healing, right? I reparented that inner child. She was always, I'm always telling myself, I've been suppressing and I need to release. So I give myself full permission to feel without shame.
Yes, I love that. We have to give ourselves grace and start with that inner child as well.
Absolutely. Especially if there was trauma there. Let's
Oh,
not hold on to
yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah, you have to realize that was not your fault. That's where it starts to. You have to let
Exactly.
that go. Not your fault. And so, Devar, how do you include creativity and free flow of energy on this journey?
I give myself permission to create without rules. We put too much stock in being perfect. We like to try to come up with an idea and not post or whatever till we feel like it's perfect. But none of us are perfect. It's only one that's perfect. You know what I'm saying? So we have to let the creativity flow and just go with it as it is. We don't have to wait until it's perfect. So that's what I try to make sure that I give myself permission to be creative and just let the idea ride before I try to make it perfect.
Exactly. Instead of doing perfection, we just play. We're just playing with it. We all have an experience here. We get to play, make our own
Mm.
earth. So, yes. And Leo, how does childhood trauma affect the sacral energy?
Okay, I'm going to address this from two forms. I'm going to address this on the female and the male.
Oh, I
Uh,
love that.
on the female portion, this will start with the molesting of young girls. I have a client that went through this, and I've known many to go through this. This molestation of a young girl at a young age, which will basically destroy her sexually, emotionally, and this is something she'll always carry with her, that she was violated in this way. It destroys her creativity also. And to have this happen, and it'll always streamline throughout her whole life. Why am I attracting these type of men who do not value me for who I am? So on that end, this will start as a child way back then. Also, I'm gonna combine the both. With a young man, is that time with his father. You
Hmm.
know, does his father spend time with him? I myself, my father really was not in my life. He was in and out. He was there, but he was not there.
Hmm.
Um, as a young boy, wanting his father to be at the baseball games, to be at his graduation. Mom had to pick up the slack. Mom had to be hard. Mom was loving, but loving in her own way. She did the best that she could. He did the best he could with what they both had learned.
Right.
So, being a young boy, um, you want to be creative. You want to draw the pictures. Hey, mom, here you go. Hey, dad, here you go. But dad is not there, and it destroys you. So when you look at it, you got man and woman traveling down this road, and they're lacking the creativity due to the childhood traumas that's traveling with them. Emotionally, those are triggers. So when something happens with someone in their relationship, I know for me personally, it was I want attention, give me my attention.
Hmm.
Emotionally, I lashed out. Emotionally, I lashed out. So my emotional body did not know how to transmute it inside. My emotional body was, I'm lashing out. So
Hmm.
when it comes down to that portion right there from childhood, the sacral chakra is damaged from childhood through the things I just talked about.
Right. Right. It damages your sexuality, your emotional stability, all of that. It's all interrupted.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then so, Madam Amani, how do you cope with fear or change or of resistance to new experiences?
I name it. So when fear shows up, I ask, why are you here? It's usually trying to protect an old version of myself when I did feel unsafe. Um, we've been down that road in episode 2. I thank it, but also remind it like we're no longer in survival. So I just take baby steps forward. Even if my voice starts shaking, I affirm, it's okay. It's okay not to feel ready, but I'm not going to stay stuck either. I'm rising. I'm thriving.
Exactly. And that's like Leo was saying, it's a process, it's a journey. Because sometimes we feel like
Absolutely.
we're doing all good, some days we're ahead, and then sometimes it feels like you just fell down and you're back in the old earth. Like, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, baby step and those actions forward, that always helps. And giving yourself grace.
Our voice is revolution, period. We have to use it.
Exactly. hmm So, Devar, how do you deal with emotional instability, such as mood swings or repressed emotions?
Bless. Say that's hard.
hmm
I used to bury everything, smile through the chaos, push through the pain, but silence became too loud. Now I check in with myself the same way I check on people I love. If my mood's off, I pause and ask, what's underneath this? Sometimes it's grief I never dealt with. Sometimes it's burnout dressed as anger. I journal, I breathe, I let the emotion move through me instead of trapping it. And when I can't hold it alone, I reach out. I've learned that strength isn't always silence. Sometimes strength is sharing the weight before it breaks you. So,
Oh, I love that because I used to hold on to it. I used to feel like I didn't want to burden nobody else with my mouth or my issues,
Mm-hmm.
but we do
mhm,
have to release it, and the people that love you and support you will be there to listen. So,
mhm.
and so Leo, if the root is our foundation, the sacral is our spark. How do we keep this energy fluid so our fire doesn't fizzle?
Okay. I'm gonna go kind of deep on y'all right quick. I'm gonna start up with the I'm gonna start up with the root and I'm gonna end up with the crown chakra. I'm gonna bring everybody online real quick. So real quick, the root chakra, which sometimes is never discussed, the root chakra is directly tied to our ego, which our ego is all designed behind what? Survivability, everything that deals with what we need, safety, security. This is where the root chakra comes in. And how do we transmute these things? Is one, we need to accept that we have an ego. It's okay to have an ego. It's okay to talk to your ego. It's okay to tell your ego, hey, look, everything is good, everything's all right. Because the ego comes online, is developed in a young child at the age of 7, the ego is wide open and it keeps
hmm
going from there. The ego just trying to keep you safe. Basically,
Right.
that's what the ego is trying to do. When it comes down to the sacral chakra, which I just spoke about, the damages that can happen to the sacral chakra. But now let's talk about healing the sacral chakra. One thing I would sit there and I would talk on man, talk on woman. One, men, learn semen retention. Learn the value that you have. Learn the sacred seed that you have. Practice semen retention. Don't sit there and get yourselves in the point where you always expending, always expending, because the more you expend, you lessen your lifetime when it comes down to sexuality. Same thing with the woman. The woman has the womb. This is like Mother Earth, Mother God. She gives life. So when
hmm
we're talking about the sacral chakra, the one thing we need to look at is they're both sacred. And when we're looking at transmuting that energy that comes from the sacral chakra, we start to look at how can we become more creative? Okay, this is your creativity. Create. Develop your emotional body instead of lashing out. Come within. Ask yourself the question, what is the lesson I'm supposed to learn behind this? And
hmm
overall, the sacral chakra is very much so in charge of manifestation. This is your manifestation chakra right here. So if you have right intent and you are focused and you doing everything right, taking that, taking the energies of the shape, the sacral chakra, your manifestations will be snapped just like this. Solar plexus, real quick, this is our self-worth. Our self-worth and self-esteem comes straight from the solar plexus. It's our willpower. Now, of course, some will not understand that this is our willpower and our self-worth. How do we clear any blocks? That's through fasting. That is exactly through fasting. And you don't have to do, you could do a 18 and 6, you can do a 12 and 12, you can do a sun up, sundown type fast. Eat the high energy foods. These are your
Right.
fruits. Eat your fruits. Just learn that when you start looking at your willpower, it comes from the solar plexus. The heart chakra is the bridge. It is the bridge between the lower and the higher realms, the higher bodies. This is your heart chakra. Your heart chakra is the bridge between the lower world and the higher world. So
Right.
when we're looking at how can we strengthen up our heart chakra, is we looking at how can we transcend the lower. That way it goes up to the highers. Okay. Our throat chakra is the conveyor. This is your communication. This is what speaks your truth. It's all about your vibration when we start talking throat chakra. Are you speaking in the way that you speak life? Are you speaking life or are you speaking death? Because a negative word speaks death, whereas a positive word speaks life. When we start talking about the third eye, we start looking at the metaphysical. We'll start looking at clairvoyancy. Can we see beyond? Our intuition is directly in line with our third eye. How do you clear the third eye? One is fasting. One practice that I used to practice at one time, and I practice it off and on, is sun gazing. 30 minutes before dawn. 30 minutes after dawn and 30 minutes before dusk. It's clearing this. It's what we feed ourselves that also generates inside the third eye, which sits right here. It sits right here. And we talk about the crown chakra. The crown chakra is right here. It's nothingness. It's basically nothingness. It is the connection to the infinite. It's the connection to your higher self. It is your God consciousness. So, in a nutshell, it's once we transmute all these, everything comes into oneness.
Right.
Hope I
That's what
hope I
I
wasn't
love.
too
Yeah.
hope I wasn't
Oh
too
no, that
long.
was no man, that was good.
That was good.
Yes.
We needed that. Thank you for lighting us
I
up from the
learned a
roof
lot.
to the top. Exactly. And
Yes.
that's what we need because nobody knows about the energy systems. Everybody thinks, oh, something's wrong. I'm scattered. I have anxiety. Let me go pop a pill. No, go sit outside.
Mhm.
Right.
Go sit
Exactly.
Right.
outside.
Because them pills
Put
ain't
some
doing
red
nothing for
Fenties on.
you.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, yes, I love that. Thank you so much for dropping all that, lighting us up, Leo. And so, listeners, I want you to think about which chakra feels most blocked for you: root, fear, or sacral, your guilt. Which one? And try these methods for clearing them out. So, now that we've cleared some of those heavy blocks, whether it was fear in the root or guilt in the sacral, let's turn those sparks of awareness into something lasting. Because motivation flickers, but sustainable flames, that's how we keep burning bright without burning out. So now we're turning sparks into flames, where we trade fleeting inspiration for daily fire. And don't worry, I've got a hot little acronym to help us out.
I love those acronyms. Give it to us. Give it to us, Rise.
So, this episode is fanning your flames. So, let's talk fans because, yes, even your passion needs to stay fed, attended, nurtured, and celebrated. So, sparks equal that fleeting motivation, and flames equal our daily practices to sustain. So, I spark my flame by logging into my OnlyFans account. OnlyFans. ONLYFANS. Make sure you subscribe. It's lit on there. On my OnlyFans, you'll see me own my light, nurture my needs, love my layers, flaws included, yield to growth, fuel my fire, complete those daily micro actions, and attract aligned energy, clearing those chakras, normalize shining, and sustain the spark. I take accountability. So, yes, I definitely strip down for my fans. So, Madam Amani, what does your OnlyFans look like? How do you keep motivation and sustain daily practices?
I love that. I am going to join that OnlyFans page. I'm going to keep that, listed right here on my computer. I definitely don't chase motivation, but I create a rhythm. These days are, I don't feel like I'm just showing up, but I remember why I started. Again, like my daily practices aren't about perfection. Like we said, nobody's perfect, but they're about alignment. So I make a space for grace for myself, and I design habits that nourish me, not punish me. So like going back to episode 1, right? Not only what I put into my body, but what I do for my body, right? And that's what makes me sustainable.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, because we have to make sure we have good coming in so good comes out. If you're putting
Mm-hmm.
trash in, you're going to get trash out. So.
Right.
Devar, tell us about your OnlyFans. Is it lit? How do you keep motivation and sustain daily practices?
It's definitely lit. I got a one man show going on over here. So for me, I stopped waiting on motivation and built systems that move even when I don't feel like it. Some days I wake up fired up, other days I feel empty. But the key for me has been discipline over mood. I anchor my day with small, non negotiable morning prayers, gratitude, movement, and time to create. Those are my pillars. I also remind myself why I started. Purpose keeps me in motion when passion fades, and I give myself grace. Missing a day doesn't mean I fail, it means I'm human. I don't just quit.
Ooh, yes. Keep going. You can't just quit no matter how you fall. You want to get back up. I love that OnlyFans. We all need to subscribe. We need to put each
Definitely.
other in our favorites because these OnlyFans are so fire. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Leo, we know you log in daily. So tell us, when motivation is hiding, how do you fan the flames? What's the secret sauce for showing up daily?
Oh wow, that's a good one.
Mm,
Um, I show up daily. One, motivation is always fleeting, so it's always discipline and consistency. Discipline and consistency, and even when it's a rough one, I call on the spirit team. I'm definitely talking to my guardian angels. I'm definitely talking on my higher self, my spirit guides, my spirit council. I'm talking to the ancestors all day long, looking at the universe. I'm doing that because I know that I'm a co-creator to everything that I'm doing right now. So
mhm.
I know before a video goes out or a book goes out, I'm co-creating with the spirit team. So it's discipline and consistency on a daily basis. Is it painful? Yes, it is. But I know it's higher than me, and
Exactly.
I'm making the world a better place.
Exactly. That
Yes.
consistency is key because even on those days when we don't feel like it, when you don't want to, you'll put something out there and sometimes that's when it'll blow up. It's like, oh, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
even feel like doing that. So we got to
Yep.
stay
Mhm.
Mhm.
consistent. I love that.
Like episode 1.
Exactly. So,
Exactly.
yeah. And so, Madam Amani, please share how you love your layers.
Yes. You got to make sure that you're loving your layers, um, by refusing to shame them.
Mm-hmm.
The wild, the wounded, the wise, right? They all belong to us, me. I no longer rush to fix myself. I sit with myself, no matter how long it takes. I hold space for my contradictions. Softness is not weakness. My fire is not too much. Every version of me brought me to this seat, to this mic, to this moment,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I show love, by embracing all of me.
Exactly. Even the bad parts. That's how, because
Mm-hmm.
we always run to somebody else and try to have them fill our cup or give us
Right.
motivation for the bad parts. But once you could sit with yourself, because you're always going to be with yourself, you can't run away from yourself. So once you could do that, that's
Exactly.
powerful. That is
That
powerful.
sounds like a good practice to me.
Right. Because if you can dance to your own tune, that's the best. I party with myself. So,
Right.
Absolutely.
Mm, break it down, break it
Mhm.
down, break
right.
it down.
That's right.
So, Devar, how do you yield to growth? Where are you practicing yielding instead of resisting?
I've learned that growth doesn't always feel like winning. Sometimes it feels like letting go. Yielding for me means trusting that the stretch is part of the story. I used to fight anything that felt uncomfortable, but now I lean in, I listen, I slow down when life forces me to. Lately, I've been practicing yielding in moments where I'd normally overwork or overthink. Instead of forcing clarity, I sit with uncertainty. Instead of chasing validation, I build in silence. That's how I know I'm growing. And it's not loud, it's it's intentional. Then I I ask myself, what are you holding on to that's actually holding you back from your next level? And so I work through
That's
that.
good. That's good.
Exactly. Yes. Keep pushing. Once again, it's going back into self, being able to sit with self. Yeah. See,
Mm-hmm.
once you're on that healing journey, you start to be like, hey, I love myself. This is fun. I'm not having to
Mm-hmm.
people please show up for nobody else but me.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes. So let's see. And then Leo, how do you normalize shining?
I have a lot of affirmations that I say, but I'm gonna quote off a couple of them real quick. I am happy, joyous, and free. I'm loving, kind, harmonious, and peaceful. I am a powerful being. I am powerful beyond belief. I am limitless. I am divinely led.
Mm-hmm.
Those are just some of them right there. But the one I say every morning when I get to that mirror, I'm beautiful. Period, point
Mm-hmm.
blank.
Mm-hmm.
I love that because me
Yes.
and my affirmations, we stick together because
All the
that's the
time.
one thing I learned that could calm me down, like right away that you
Mm-hmm.
could go to right away that gets you. So
Mm,
that's the same thing I do as soon as I wake up because I feel like that's when the enemy tries to attack us is when we first
Mm-hmm.
rise. And so that's when
right.
you have to start going in, be thankful, all the gratitude, drown that out with
Hmm.
all the gratitude, all
Right.
the love for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
rewire the negative
Because
thoughts.
it could always be worse. So
It
you got to
could,
be thankful for
Exactly.
what you have.
Like
especially when
waking
I
up
woke up
but
in the
not
bed.
being it right. Or waking up and not being mobile. Like what if you wake
Exactly.
up
Hmm.
but you're not mobile?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I go down the
Exactly.
body parts. I'm thankful for my fingers, my eyes moving, they can move. I'm thankful I can see the
Yep.
birds and hear
See,
the birds
hear.
chirp, all that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm grateful for all of that because it
Swallow.
could be worse.
Oh my
Exactly.
gosh.
Be having tubes and stuff to
Mm-hmm.
use. I'm thank
Yeah.
you,
Yeah,
Lord. I
it's the
can use
little
this.
things that we look over. So
Yes.
definitely thankful for the little things. Well, what we feel like is little, but they're really not.
Right.
Right.
They're
Exactly.
Hmm.
actually monumental. Like
Right.
Absolutely.
having all
Because
our
that's where it
senses,
started.
that's monumental. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Having cognitive thinking.
Exactly.
Man.
Yes, because sometimes the
Yes.
questions I get, I'm like, thank you, Lord, that I'm so smart. Amen.
Right. Exactly.
Because woo, they say no question is a dumb question, but sometimes I beg to differ.
Right.
Oh man. So I love that. We lit it up in here today. All of our OnlyFans, make sure we subscribe. It is time for our community fire. Time to fire off any questions you have about self-worth, your OnlyFans account, how to set that up, or any chakras you need to clear. Okay, and so co-host, any final words, Madam Amani, any final words that you would like to say today?
I just want to tell everybody to remember that you are not perfect, right? But you are here to be present, not here to shrink. You are here to shine in your fullness. Every scar, every lesson, every layer you carry is worthy of love, your love. So breathe deep, speak softly to yourself, and remember your security lives within. Your self worth is not up for negotiation, and your daily choices are sacred steps toward
Yes.
becoming. So until next time, keep loving all of your layers.
Yes. I love that. Keep rising.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
And Devar, any final words, anything you'd like to say to our listeners?
Yeah, growth isn't always about doing more, it's about becoming more. Sometimes the strongest move you can make is to pause, reflect, and choose differently. Every question we asked tonight wasn't just for answers, it was for awareness. Because the moment you get honest in the mirror, that's when the transformation begins. Keep showing up for yourself, keep peeling back those layers, and remember, healing isn't always a destination, it's a daily decision. And until next time, keep asking the hard questions, keep choosing truth over comfort, and above all, don't chase the light, become the light.
Exactly. Yes.
Love
I
that.
love that. Yes. Become the light.
Yes. Leo,
Yeah.
like, it's
It's
hot.
hot in
Yes,
here.
that
It's
was
hot in here.
good.
That was
That
hot.
Yes.
guy. That guy.
Yes,
Igniting that
sir.
fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keeping each other lit. I told you. So,
Yes.
Mhm.
Leo, we want to give the spotlight to you. Any final words, anything you want to teach us, anything you want to tell us? We don't want to leave without any wisdom from you. We love that.
I don't wanna drop wisdom, but I would love to drop this. Man, this is beautiful, man. I really appreciate being on this platform with you all. And this is what the universe looks at us, God, source energy, whoever we give reverence to. This is what we do. Is
Mm-hmm.
we do things like this. We come together as professionals and we give something to the world to make the world a better place. We
Mhm.
give something like this it has no price tag on it,
Right.
Hmm.
and it is so beautiful to be a part of something like this, and to be a part. And I'm just so humbled behind it, because it's like, man, the people that get a chance to hear this, see this, whatever it is,
Right.
some there's gonna be people out there that's like, you know what, I needed that. So,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
man,
That's why we're here.
this is beautiful. This is what we do. We uplift others. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all very much.
Yes, I
Salute to
appreciate
you,
you.
brother. Salute to
Yes,
you.
we
Yes.
really appreciate you being here. That's what I love, us sparking each other up, a safe, humble community where we've been through it, but keep lighting each other's flames and sparks. I love this. Yeah, I thank you all for
Mhm.
being here, and I love what we're all doing, and we're going to continue. It's not stopping here. This is not it. Yes. So, our listeners, we have a mini challenge this week. We want you to go ahead and set up your OnlyFans account and pick a letter from your OnlyFans to work on this week. And then we'll check in next episode. And so, let's breathe this in one last time. Your worth isn't earned, it's inherited. Your chakras aren't set and forget, they need clearing. And your fire, it doesn't roar on autopilot. It needs daily fanning. This isn't about grand gestures, it's the small, sacred kindling, a breath, a boundary, a moment of stillness in the storm. You are the keeper of your flame. Now fan yours, then pass the torch. Ready to fan deeper? Join our OnlyFans and stay kindled with us. You can access this session on all podcast platforms. That's your backstage pass to exclusive practices and our soul tribe.
Hmm.
Then drop your chakra insight. Which energy center is asking for your attention this week? Your comment might fan someone else's flame, so let us know. And finally, make sure you subscribe so you never miss a spark. Our next episode, we're diving into burnout, the fireproof mindset, when your flame feels like a flicker. So I'm Lady Rise. Until next time, keep fanning your flame and igniting your spark. Yeah, so just go ahead and give us
Powered
the
by
rundown. Give us a
Riverside
deep
FM.
dive about these chakras.
Okay, let's talk chakras real quick. I'm gonna start with the root chakra. Now, the one thing, if we look in society itself, right? We look outside society. No one really knows that they have an energy center right within them. No one knows this. Only a few of us knows this. So, one is we need to learn to make this more of an awareness than something to be running from, because the higher powers definitely do not want the masses to know that they have this energy system within them. So what does this boil down to? Is a control thing. One, what is related to control? The ego. We live in an egoic type environment. Everything is based off of control. Now, of course, not everything bad about the ego, but when we look at the ego, everything is based off of, when you look at this society, if you go outside, people are looking, how can I control something versus letting it have an ebb and flow? Because everything in life is ebb and flow. You look at nature. Nature is always designed for balance. When we start looking at the seasons, it's a flow. You look at a river, nothing getting away in the river, it's always a flow. Just like the ether, just like the air. So when you start looking around, you start looking at the news, what are you looking at? Everything is based off of survivability. Everything is looking at lack of abundance. Everything is like safety. But the safety that most folks operate under is, I got to have a gun. I got to make sure I can beat up everybody on the block. This is a block to our root chakra. How do we clear it? We come back. We ground ourselves. We come back into oneness. We come back to look at one. We're nature. Nature is nature. We are part of nature. This is one thing that we need to start cultivating, that we are part of nature. We are all fractals of the all. We are all one branch. We are all the branches of one tree. When we start looking at the sacral chakra, the sacral chakra based off of its creativity, the emotional body. But what happens when we are emotionally challenged? We want to lash out. We don't come within. We don't ask ourselves the lessons. What's the lesson I'm supposed to learn behind this? I.e., woman, man, man, woman. They break up from one another. What happens? They go jump from bed to bed to bed to bed versus coming back in. They never have a chance to become one in an emotional level. One, you looking at sexuality. We play sex is a game, like sex is a sport. We look at the feeling of the orgasm. It's a temporary feeling, but it's your life. It is a life energy. We have to learn how to transmute that energy and let that energy be transmuted into our creative side. Take the sexual energy, transmute that energy into your creative side. Once you get into your creative side, it's your manifestation. We manifest every day. We operate from the sacral chakra every day. You think about, I'm going to go put gas in my truck. You are manifesting gas in your truck. I'm going to go make that meal. You are going to go make that meal. Creativity is easy. It's just like that meal that we make. Some people will never look at themselves as creator beings. Why? It's because the system has scared them so bad to where God is separated from us, but God is within us and all around us. You go get yourself a meal, i.e. gumbo, all the ingredients. Put everything together. What you going to do? You're creating the meal. Look at the end state. When we look at the solar plexus, our willpower, our self-esteem, low self-worth, our willpower. The issue with the solar plexus is behind the foods that we eat every day. We eat these foods that clog up the solar plexus. Guess what you lose? You lose willpower. You don't have the strength to say no. You don't have the strength to push away from the table. You don't have no kind of power whatsoever. I.e., how do you clear this? How do you develop a self-worth? How do you tell yourself every day I'm beautiful versus looking in the mirror saying I'm fat, I'm fat? We will sit up there and demoralize about it. Why would you tell a beautiful body that you're fat? Tell your body that you're beautiful. Flip the script. Look at the solar plexus. Start fasting. Eat high energy foods. Eat the fruits. Eat the beans, the nuts, the thing that God gave us. Eat God's food. We transmute all that negativity right on up out of the solar plexus. The heart chakra, the center, the bridge. Everyone wants to say, my heart chakra is open, but you did not transcend the lower three. Your heart chakra will not become open to transmute to the higher world because the heart is the bridge. It is the bridge to everything. It is your energy sector. Matter of fact, when you start looking at the energy that goes from the top to the bottom, I can't call up the name right quick. Everything stems from the heart. When we start looking at the throat chakra, this is basically speaking your truth. Folks, the tongue, the mouth speaks life. The tongue, the mouth speaks life. It speaks your truth. Are you speaking positivity Or are you speaking negativity? Are you telling yourself this is what's wrong with me? Because if you say that, that's going to come into fruition. Or do you tell yourself, you know what, I'm beautiful. I'm thin. I don't care if you weigh 400 pounds, if you speak into existence, I am skinny, I'm beautiful, I'm slender, I'm strong. That is coming into fruition, folks. That is the power of the throat chakra. The throat chakra is one of the most powerful chakras that we have because we have that ability to speak life. And that's what we need to start speaking life, not death, not negativity, life. Also, look at what you take in. Look at the foods you take in. It definitely affects the throat chakra. So let's bring in those high energy foods. Let's start speaking life. Somebody you don't like, hey, good morning, how you doing? It takes a couple, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Heart emoji. Love your stuff. I don't care if you don't like them because you can't like somebody, cannot dislike somebody because guess what? They're a mirror of you. Third eye. Anyone in the spiritual community, everyone speaks about the third eye. But, comma, the third eye has become calcified through what? Toothpaste, chloride, the foods you take in every day. Folks, the third eye is based on your clairvoyance, your psychic abilities, your intuition. Some of us don't follow that gut instinct. Some of us will sit up there and say, you know what, I'm going to ignore that and I'm going to go this direction. This is your third eye talking to you. This is your intuition. This is your higher self talking to you through intuition. Don't do it. We need you to go this direction. I will always say, do not always follow this. Follow that intuition. Follow that gut feeling. Even though you have that gut feeling, but that intuition is guiding you. Follow what feels right, not what's wrong. I always say, do the hard right versus the easy wrong. Let's go to the crown chakra. Crown chakra, even though it's above the head, it's nothingness. It's not there. It is your direct link to your higher self. It is your direct link to your higher self. We all will always say we're a better version. But what does it take to embody more of your higher self? Has anyone set the intentions? I want to embody more of my higher self. Then you need to become a conduit. You need to become a conduit to receive the higher guidance, to receive the downloads. Look at your dreams. That's coming in from your higher self. Hey, I need you to depict this because guess what? I have a message for you. So when we start dealing with the crown chakra, we need to become a conduit. We need to be a clear vessel. We need to clear the bloodstream. We need to clear the gut. We need to clear everything. We need to look at saying, okay, how can I make oneness of all my chakras so I can start receiving the direct guidance from my higher self, from the divine source. So having said all of this, um, once we start learning to align all our chakras, then that's when we start aligning with what is there for us. So pretty much so that's kind of it in a nutshell. Now, if you need me to go more in depth on a specific chakra, I can go more in depth on a specific chakra.
I absolutely love that. I'm so full of gratitude for all that knowledge because that is my thing, the energy systems, going within, clearing those out. And I feel clearer just listening. So if there's anything else, yes, you would like to go in on, go ahead. I would appreciate that.
Okay, so I like to take a deep dive on our survival ones because these are the ones that if we can learn to transmute them, I'm not saying do not accept them. You accept all portions of you. But once we learn to take our ego, to sit with our ego, to say, hey, look, everything will be all right. We do not always have to lash out. I always speak on the law of attraction. We attract who we are. We attract, we don't attract what we want. We attract who we are. So when people start saying, well, this person, that person, you just don't realize that the universe put that person in your life for them to see so you can see them. It's a gift. It's a gift right there. So when you start sitting back there like, oh, this person got, for me, example, I was in a relationship, girl was being narcissist, and I'm like, hey man, you a narcissist. She looked right back at me and said, you a narcissist. I had to go call two other people, my daughter and one of my spiritual sisters. Am I a narcissist? Heck yeah, you're a narcissist. Right then and there, I'm like, okay, that's confirmation. Go to work. Plus, I attracted a boss who was very narcissistic and very controlling. Plus, once she left, I took her position. I attracted a coworker who was the exact same way, very controlling. And I knew I got to a point where I remember that person came into the office where I'm like, I don't know why she was there. And it triggered me so bad to have to go sit in my office and say, okay, what is the lesson behind this? And then I realized it. It is very painful to stay in a controlled mindset than to just let everything flow. To know that the universe puts everything right there for you to heal those triggers. So when you're triggered, dealing with the ego, dealing with your survivability, dealing with, your safety, the ego puts it right there. I mean, the universe puts it right there for you to have the opportunity to heal it. Because if you don't heal it, guess what's going to happen? Everything is in a cyclic motion. If you think about it, May 2026, May, June, they all going to come right back around. It's just like the law. It's just like karma. Karma will come back around. Karma is the checks, the balances to the universe. We can all break a karmic cycle when we can all sit back and ask, what is the lesson? The ego is not bad. The ego is just doing what the ego does. So if somebody says, oh, you got a large ego, stop right there. What is the lesson? Okay, that's the lesson I need to learn. Sit with your ego. Tell your ego, hey, it's okay. We don't have to lash out. This is not an I game. Because when we look at the ego is like I. Validation. I. This is all stemming from the root chakra, our survivability, our security. Who am I? My identification being outside. But we have to come inside to say, you know what? I validate me, not the outside world. Sacral chakra, when we start talking sexual, creative, emotional, manifestation, our emotional body, I will always say one thing. When we learn that sex is a sacred act. I don't care if you're doing tantric, white tantra, it is a sacred act. So having learned this, because back in my old days, it wasn't sacred act. It was a sport. It was like, okay, we going downfield. We doing a 5 and out. I'm gonna throw 100 passes to get down there. Meant as 100 women to get to the goal, but there was never no goal. So when you start looking at the sacral chakras, how do we transmute sexual energy? How can we take sexual energy? Because the power, if you think about it, and I'm gonna make this real funny. Think about your favorite meal. Think about your favorite meal. Boy, you gearing up for that favorite meal. Man, I cannot wait to eat this. And you get there and you eating it and you eating it and you eating it. And it's good, it's good. But then when it's done, guess what? It's over with. That's what I'm talking about. This is what we participate every day because guess what? There's never going to be something to say you need to abstain from it. In this society, it's going to be, hey, we're going to push this out there. Hey, see the females looking like this? Hey, you see six-pack abs and boulder shoulders? Great sweatpants season, whatever that is. This is what society pushes at us. This is what social media. We all have the power to change the algorithm on our social media accounts if we chose to. Everything is about choice. You have a chance and a choice every day. You can either choose to look at that or you can choose to avoid that. But be in acceptance. If you like men with six pack of boulder shoulders, that's great. If you like women with big booty, big breasts, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. Accept those parts of you. But learn to use sexual energy as a creative force. Create. We create every day. We are creative beings. We can sit up here and we can create anything we want. It's the law of mentalism. Everything is mental. You think about it. This phone, that computer, that plant, that wall was created from a thought. If we knew the power of our creative minds, we wouldn't have no issues. But it gets dummied down. How does it get dummied down? By what? It's by the foods that we eat. It's by the things we intake. If you're taking in negativity, you're gonna think negative all day. If you're thinking positivity all day, you're gonna be positive. Think positive. If you listen to positivity, do I listen to the man? I'm about to shoot him up, kill him up? Because you could not rap music. Nothing wrong with it. Boom, boom, boom. Shoot him up, kill, kill, kill. Get in my way. Or I'm gonna listen to music that's a little bit more like, all right, that's cool right there. All right, I got it. Put what you take in positive is what you give out positive. If you take in negative, that's what you give out negative. Period, point blank. So as our solar plexus is always clouded up with stuff, that's what's happening. I'm gonna go eat this hamburger. But here's the thing with the solar plexus, built on our willpower, self-esteem, and all of this. We never know our power because we're so clogged up with food. We're so clogged up with the debris of food. We got foods in our bodies for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, how many years? We got those foods still diseased up in our body, fermented. You go to the bathroom and you got to spray all day long. You got fermented food inside of you. So how do you expect to get that willpower? How do you expect to be able to say, I'm a powerful being. I am powerful beyond belief? No. You're going to have to get to yourself to a point and say, you know what, I'm sick and tired of being this person. I want better for me. I want to live longer. When we can get to those states, then the solar plexus is very easy. We'll look at ourselves like, shit, I'm not eating that. No, I'm not putting that in my body. Give me,
Exactly. That's how I
give,
feel about pork.
yeah. Give me them blueberries. Give me those pineapples. Give me those. Our self-worth, our self-esteem, our willpower is something that we have in us already. Just gotta peel back the onions and get the debris up out of us. And our heart chakra, again, we once we start clearing those lower three, now we got a chance to go on up there and transcend through the bridge, through the heart chakra, to get from the lower worlds to the higher worlds. Everyone thinks about the heart chakra, like, oh, my heart chakra is this, that, and the third. If you still thinking in your survival, if you start thinking in the lust side of the sacral chakra and all of that, your heart chakra definitely ain't open. It's not open. And the throat chakra, speak truth. Speak truth. Be authentic. Speak positivity. What you take in is what you give out. If you're speaking positive, you're gonna always get positive back. If you speak negative, you're gonna always get negative back. And when it comes down to third eye and clairvoyance, that's way different. You know, you looking at, you got to start transcending all of everything else. You got to look at, okay, I'm ready for the third eye, but are you ready to do those practices to get the third eye? Are you willing to ground? Are you willing to go out in nature? Are you willing to sun gaze? Are you willing to meditate? Are you ready to do EFT tapping? Are you ready to sit with yourself in solitude? And that's a big one. A lot of individuals think solitude is so bad. Oh my God, oh my God. Solitude is a gift. Everything else is a test of your endurance. Solitude is a gift. Everything is a test of your endurance. If you ever learn to sit in solitude, your answers will come to you. Quiet the mind, quiet the body. You're going to get the answers. And the crown chakra, again, become a conduit. Receive the higher guidance. Receive what your higher self is telling you. Receive what the universe, source energy, God, because God is in us and God is all around us. Receive, become a conduit. I'm not going to say none of this is hard. This has been a journey. This was not an overnight thing. And my whole journey working with my chakra system, there's a journey, and I'm still on that journey because I'm still learning to transcend everything. Because at the end of the day, everything is about oneness. Everything is about, we are fractals of the all, we are branches of the same tree. Everything is about oneness. And I'm going to add a caveat to that because I don't want to be so long-winded. When we start looking at how do we achieve oneness, it is the merging of the divine masculine and divine feminine within the body. We live in a duality society. We always look for divine feminine or divine masculine outside of us. The true, and I say it again, the true twin flame relationship that you will always have is the merging of the divine feminine and divine masculine within. We all have it. We live in a world of duality. That's period, point blank. We live in a world of duality. Once we learn the merging of the divine feminine, divine masculine, then we can experience true oneness. I need some water.
My brother.
I
Oh
I
my
know.
God.
Whew.
Boy, I got
That
some
was so good.
clarity. I got some
Right.
clarity from you just then, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna have to put that on repeat because yes, I
All
loved
right.
all that. Thank
All
you
I
right.
so
think
much.
everybody
Full
that listened to
gratitude.
this, I think everyone that listened to this podcast gonna put it on repeat.
Yes,
They
go ahead and
should,
do that. Yes, and
I,
clear that
I,
so
out
I
you
and
didn't
could
take that in.
reclaim your energy from your
Yes,
emotional codependency or trauma bonds.
I didn't
yes.
want to be long winded.
No, man, you got to the point, man, and it was all teaching. So this is what people need, man. So definitely we thank you, man. Thank you for putting
Thank
that
you.
out there.
I was
Yes.
waiting for Rise to say, "You got 5 minutes left."